We've all heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And for most of our lives, we believe that fruit is always a healthy choice. After all, it's natural, it's sweet, it's filled with vitamins. What's not to love? But here's something most people don't realize. Not all fruits are safe for seniors, especially as we grow older and our bodies begin to change. As we pass 60, things like blood sugar, digestion, kidney function, and heart health become more sensitive. And while fruit is still an important part of a balanced diet, some of the sweetest, most tempting fruits, even the ones we've been eating for decades, can actually cause more harm than good if we're not careful. The problem isn't the fruit itself, it's how concentrated, sugary, or inflammatory certain fruits can become, especially when eaten in large amounts or on their own. Some fruits can spike your blood sugar just as fast as a candy bar. Others can lead to bloating, fatigue, or even interfere with medications. And the scariest part? Most of these fruits are considered healthy, so we rarely suspect them. In today's video, we're going to look at 5 fruits that seniors should think twice about before eating. You might be surprised to see some of your favorites on the list. Fruits that seem harmless but could be silently hurting your body, especially if you're living with diabetes, high blood pressure, or digestive issues. But don't worry, we're not here to take away all your fruit. We'll also talk about how to enjoy these foods more safely, what to eat instead, and how to make fruit work for your health, not against it. Because when you eat smart, you stay strong. And when your body feels good, life feels better. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1, raisins, the tiny fruit with a big sugar punch. Mrs. Ellen, 72, loved raisins. She'd toss a handful into her oatmeal each morning and carry a little bag in her purse as a quick snack. It's fruit, she would say proudly. Better than cookies, right? But over time, she started noticing her blood sugar readings creeping higher, and she felt more tired after lunch, sometimes even dizzy. When her doctor reviewed her diet, one tiny food stood out: raisins. Raisins are often seen as a healthy, natural snack, especially for people trying to avoid processed sweets. But here's the truth that most seniors don't know. Raisins are one of the most concentrated sources of sugar you can eat. That's because they're just dried grapes. And when you remove the water, what's left is a small, sticky, chewy bite that's packed with natural sugar. In fact, just 1/4 cup of raisins contains over 20 grams of sugar. That's equivalent to about 5 teaspoons of sugar in a single handful. For a senior, especially someone managing type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, this can be dangerous. Unlike fresh fruit, raisins have very little water and almost no fiber, which means the sugar is absorbed quickly into your bloodstream. This can cause a sharp spike in blood glucose levels, followed by a crash, leaving you tired, irritable, or even dizzy. Over time, these sugar fluctuations put more strain on your pancreas and insulin system, increasing the risk of complications like fatigue, weight gain, and even heart problems. But the issues don't stop with blood sugar. Raisins are also high in potassium, which can be risky for people with chronic kidney disease or impaired kidney function, both of which become more common as we age. Too much potassium can lead to irregular heartbeats or muscle weakness. And because raisins are sticky and cling to your teeth, they can also contribute to dental decay, a hidden risk for seniors with aging gums or dry mouth. Many seniors think it's just a few raisins, but because they're so small and sweet, it's easy to eat more than you think. What feels like a light, healthy snack could actually be flooding your body with concentrated sugar. And unlike a fresh piece of fruit, which fills you up and hydrates you, raisins are energy-dense and nutrient-light, offering little satiety while delivering a heavy sugar load. So what can you do if you love that little burst of sweetness? First, try switching to fresh grapes instead. Grapes have the same natural sugars, but the water and fiber help slow down digestion, making them a gentler option. Just be sure to stick to a small portion, Around 10 to 12 grapes is usually enough. You can also try pairing grapes with protein or healthy fat, like a slice of cheese or a handful of almonds, to further reduce the blood sugar spike. If you still want something chewy and sweet, consider sliced apple with peanut butter, a few berries and Greek yogurt, or even a medjool date with a few walnuts. These combinations offer fiber, vitamins, and healthy fat, all of which help stabilize energy and keep you full longer. The key is to retrain your idea of what healthy fruit means after age 60. Raisins might seem innocent, but they act more like candy in your body, especially if you eat them often or without balance. Being mindful of how even small foods affect your health can make a big difference in your energy, blood sugar control, and overall well-being. So the next time you reach for a handful of raisins, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, am I choosing this because it's healthy or just because it's easy and sweet? In the next part of the video, we'll look at another fruit that might surprise you. Lychee, a tropical treat that looks harmless but can trigger serious imbalances in older adults. You won't want to miss this one. Number 2, lychee, a sweet fruit that can overheat your system. Mr. Tran, 68 years old, remembered lychee as a sweet taste of his childhood. Growing up in Southeast Asia, lychees were a seasonal treat, juicy, fragrant, and full of nostalgia. So when he found them in a local Asian market in California, he couldn't resist. He bought a bag, sat down, and ate nearly a dozen in one go. The next morning he felt weak, dizzy, and strangely shaky. His blood sugar had dropped to a dangerously low level, and he had no idea why. Lychee is a tropical fruit that many people, especially those with Asian heritage, consider a delicious delicacy. Its floral aroma and honey-like sweetness make it hard to stop at just one. But for older adults, this little fruit can pose some surprising health risks if eaten in large amounts or on an empty stomach. What most people don't realize is that lychee has a high glycemic index, meaning it causes blood sugar to rise and then crash rapidly. That's because lychees contain a type of natural sugar called hypoglycin A, especially when the fruit is underripe. This compound can interfere with the body's ability to regulate blood glucose, especially if the person has not eaten anything else. In severe cases, particularly among malnourished children in India, lychee has even been linked to sudden seizures and unconsciousness due to acute hypoglycemia. Now, while those cases are rare and extreme, the concern is real, especially for seniors who already struggle with blood sugar regulation or take medication for diabetes. Eating several lychees on their own, especially without a proper meal, can cause your blood sugar to spike and then plummet. This leads to symptoms like shakiness, lightheadedness, fatigue, irritability, and cold sweats, and in more serious situations, fainting or confusion. But the concerns go beyond just blood sugar. In traditional Eastern medicine, lychee is considered a heating fruit. That means it's believed to generate internal warmth or heat in the body, which can cause symptoms like mouth ulcers, sore throat, nosebleeds, or indigestion, especially in older individuals whose body systems are more sensitive. While modern science doesn't always frame it the same way, many seniors do report feeling off or uncomfortable after eating too many lychees at once. So how many is too many? For most people, 2 to 3 fresh lychees as part of a balanced meal is safe, but popping a dozen in one sitting, especially without other food, is a mistake many people make. That's because lychee is small, juicy, and easy to eat fast. But inside that thin skin is a high-sugar fruit with very little fiber, meaning it gets digested quickly and hits your bloodstream hard. If you love the taste of lychee, there are still ways to enjoy it safely. First, never eat it on an empty stomach. Make sure you've had some protein or complex carbs before snacking on lychees. Better yet, include them in a mixed fruit salad with low-sugar fruits like kiwi or strawberries, which can help balance the overall effect. And always practice portion control. A few pieces can be a treat, but more than that may be too much for your body to handle. Also, avoid canned lychees soaked in syrup. These are even sweeter than fresh lychees, often containing added sugar that turns an already sugary fruit into a hidden sugar bomb. If you do buy canned lychees, look for those packed in water or their own juice, and always drain them before eating. The lesson here is simple. Just because a fruit is small and natural doesn't mean it's always safe in large amounts, especially as we age. Your body's ability to process sugar and regulate energy changes over time, and something that felt fine at 30 might not sit as well at 70. So the next time you see a bowl of fresh lychees, take a moment to appreciate their beauty, their memory, and their flavor. But also remember, a little goes a long way. Coming up next, we'll talk about another delicious fruit that seems innocent, even healthy, but can deliver a syrupy sugar overload when you're not paying attention. Let's take a closer look at overripe mangoes in the next section. Number 3, overripe mango. Nature's candy, but not for everyone. Mrs. Dolores, 74, always smiled when mango season arrived. For her, it brought back memories of warm summer days, family picnics, and sweet, juicy slices shared with loved ones. But as she got older, something changed. After eating mango, especially the really soft, ripe ones she loved most, she began feeling tired, foggy, and strangely thirsty. Her daughter suggested checking her blood sugar, and to her surprise, it was much higher than normal. Could her beloved mango really be the culprit? The answer, unfortunately, is yes. Mango is often called nature's candy, and for good reason. When perfectly ripe, it's soft, intensely sweet, and almost syrupy in texture. And while mangoes are packed with vitamin C and antioxidants, they also contain a very high amount of natural sugar, especially when overripe. A single medium-sized mango can contain 45 to 50 grams of sugar, depending on how ripe it is. That's more than most candy bars. The problem for seniors is that as mango ripens, its sugar content increases while its fiber content decreases, making it more difficult for the body to process without causing a blood sugar spike. Unlike less sweet fruits, such as berries or green apples, ripe mango is absorbed quickly into the bloodstream, often causing a rapid rise and fall in energy, something that's particularly dangerous for older adults managing diabetes or insulin resistance. This effect can be even more pronounced when mango is eaten on its own, between meals or in large portions, such as in smoothies or desserts. Many seniors mistakenly believe that because it's natural, it must be safe in any quantity. But sugar, whether from fruit or not, still affects your metabolism, especially when you're over 60 and your body's ability to regulate blood glucose has slowed. Over time, regularly eating large amounts of overripe mango can lead to chronic blood sugar instability, fatigue, weight gain, and in some cases, contribute to the worsening of diabetic complications like neuropathy or kidney strain. Even for seniors without diabetes, a large sugar hit can cause symptoms like brain fog, joint inflammation, or energy crashes that make everyday tasks feel exhausting. So does this mean mango should be off limits completely? Not necessarily. Mangoes can still be enjoyed, but with a bit of smart strategy. First, portion size matters. Instead of eating a whole mango, try slicing just a few firm cubes and combining them with a source of protein or healthy fat, like Greek yogurt, a handful of nuts, or cottage cheese. This slows down digestion and prevents sharp blood sugar spikes. Second, choose mangoes that are just barely ripe, where the flesh is still slightly firm and less sugary. These have a lower glycemic impact and offer more fiber, which helps with digestion and satiety. Avoid mango juices, smoothies, or dried mango snacks, especially those sold in packages with added sugar. These products are highly concentrated sources of fructose and lack the fiber that whole fruit provides. 1 cup of mango juice can contain nearly twice the sugar of a soft drink, without any of the chewing or fullness that helps you realize you've had enough. And of course, if you're unsure how your body reacts to mango, it's a great idea to check your blood sugar about an hour after eating it. That simple habit can help you identify which fruits work for you and which ones might need to be enjoyed more sparingly. Mango will always be a beloved fruit for many, full of flavor, history, and joy. But as we age, our approach to food needs to evolve. Sweetness should still be savored, but it also must be respected, especially when your health is on the line. In the next section, we'll talk about a fruit that many people believe is a perfect summer treat: watermelon. But what most seniors don't know is that eating too much of it, too fast, can silently throw your blood sugar and hydration levels out of balance. Let's look at why watermelon, while refreshing, might not be as harmless as it seems. Number 4. Watermelon. Hydrating but high glycemic load. On a hot summer day, there's nothing quite like a cold slice of watermelon. It's juicy, sweet, and refreshing. The kind of fruit that feels more like a drink than a snack. Mr. Allen, 76, always looked forward to watermelon season. He'd cut up a big bowl, set it next to his recliner, and munch away as he watched the afternoon news. "It's mostly water," he'd say. "It's good for me, right?" But over time, he began noticing that after his watermelon ritual, he felt strangely tired and even a bit lightheaded. At his next doctor's appointment, his blood sugar had spiked higher than expected. And the culprit wasn't candy or soda. It was his beloved watermelon. While watermelon is more than 90% water, and it does provide hydration, vitamin C, and some antioxidants, it also has something seniors need to be cautious about: a very high glycemic index. That means watermelon raises blood sugar levels quickly, even though it doesn't always feel like a sweet fruit. In fact, the glycemic index of watermelon is around 72, which is similar to that of white bread. That's because watermelon is made up of fast-digesting sugars and very little fiber, so the sugar hits your bloodstream almost immediately. This is especially problematic for older adults who may have a slower insulin response or already struggle with blood sugar regulation due to prediabetes, diabetes, or insulin resistance. Eating a few small cubes of watermelon might not cause much trouble, but a large bowl, which is easy to eat quickly because of its water content, can silently overwhelm your system. The result? A sugar spike, followed by a sugar crash. You may feel tired, foggy, or thirsty afterward, and not even realize why. Another reason watermelon can be tricky is its portion size. Because it's so light and low in calories, many people assume they can eat as much as they want. But what looks like a harmless snack can quickly turn into a sugar overload. One standard wedge of watermelon, about 1/16 of a whole melon, contains around 17 grams of sugar. Eat 3 or 4 of those wedges, as many people do without thinking, and you've consumed as much sugar as in a soda. And while watermelon is hydrating, ironically, eating too much of it can also disrupt your electrolyte balance, particularly for seniors with kidney issues or those taking medications that affect fluid retention. Watermelon contains potassium, which in excess may be problematic for those with kidney disease. The combination of sugar, water, and minerals can throw off your internal balance more than you might expect. So should you cut watermelon out of your diet completely? Not at all. But like many fruits, it's about being smart with how you enjoy it. Here are a few simple tips. Stick to a small portion, about 1 cup of diced watermelon, or 1 modest slice. Eat it with a source of protein or fat, like a handful of nuts or a slice of cheese, to help slow down digestion and avoid a blood sugar spike. Avoid eating it alone on an empty stomach or as a late-night snack. Instead, have it as part of a balanced meal. Don't drink it. Watermelon juice or smoothies can be a major sugar bomb because they remove fiber and concentrate the sugars. Choose watermelon with seeds when possible. The seeds contain healthy fats and some protein, which add a nutritional benefit. Mr. Allen didn't have to give up watermelon. He just had to respect it. Once he started measuring his portions and pairing it with protein, he could still enjoy the flavor he loved without the side effects he hated. "Now I have a slice," he said, "not a bowl, and I feel better afterward, not worse." At the end of the day, watermelon is not the villain, but it's also not as innocent as it seems. Like many sweet fruits, it's easy to overdo, especially when it tastes light and harmless. But for seniors, moderation is the key. Your body works differently than it did 20 years ago, and it's time to treat it with the care and balance it deserves. In the next section, we'll look at a whole category of fruits that seem convenient and healthy, but are often loaded with hidden sugars that quietly wear down your body over time. Let's talk about dried and canned fruits and how to spot the hidden traps in the grocery aisle. Number 6, how to choose fruits wisely. After 60, after learning about the hidden risks in raisins, lychee, mango, watermelon, and canned fruits, Mrs. Ellen, Mr. Allen, and many others began to feel a little unsure. If all these fruits are risky, Ellen asked, what's left for us to enjoy? The truth is, there are still so many delicious, safe, and health-boosting fruits available. You just have to know how to choose them wisely, especially after 60, when your body needs different kinds of support than it did in younger years. As we age, our metabolism slows, insulin sensitivity may decrease, and digestive health becomes more delicate. That means not all fruits serve our bodies the same way. Some offer stable energy, fiber, and healing antioxidants, while others, even if natural, may overload us with sugar, cause bloating, or disrupt our balance. But with the right guidance, fruit can remain a joyful, nourishing part of your daily life. So how do we choose the right fruits after 60? First, prioritize fruits that are low in sugar and high in fiber. These are the kinds of fruits that digest slowly, help regulate blood sugar, and keep you feeling full and energized. Some of the best choices include berries, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. These are loaded with antioxidants, vitamins, and fiber, and have one of the lowest sugar counts among fruits. Plus, they're versatile. You can add them to yogurt, oatmeal, or eat them on their own. Green apples. Unlike their red cousins, green apples contain less sugar and more tartness, which helps slow digestion and curb cravings. Kiwi, high in vitamin C, potassium, and fiber. One kiwi a day can support digestion and immunity without causing sugar spikes. Pears, especially with the skin on, pears offer plenty of fiber and a mild sweetness that doesn't overwhelm your blood sugar. Number 7, warning signs. Your fruit is hurting you. Mr. Joseph, at 71, had always taken pride in making healthier food choices. After decades of working hard and raising a family, he finally had the time to take care of himself, and fruit became a big part of his daily routine. He'd start the morning with a banana, sip on a fruit smoothie for lunch, and finish dinner with a few dried apricots or a cup of watermelon. He believed he was doing everything right, but over time, he began to notice strange shifts in how he felt. After eating, he often felt sluggish and foggy. His stomach sometimes bloated uncomfortably, and he started feeling thirsty all the time. His energy would crash by late afternoon, and his memory didn't feel as sharp as before. At his next checkup, his doctor told him something unexpected. His blood sugar was higher than it should be, and surprisingly, it was his fruit habits that might be doing more harm than good. This is a story many seniors can relate to. Fruit is widely seen as healthy, and most of the time it is. But as we age, our bodies change. Our digestion slows down, blood sugar regulation becomes more delicate, and insulin sensitivity weakens. That means the way our bodies respond to fruit, especially sweet, ripe, or processed fruit, can be very different from how it used to be. And when we miss those signals, we can quietly put ourselves at risk for health problems we never saw coming. One of the first signs that fruit might be hurting you is feeling unusually tired after eating. You may start off fine, but within 30 to 60 minutes of finishing a fruit-heavy snack or meal, you feel a wave of sleepiness, mental fog, or weakness. That's a classic sign of a blood sugar spike followed by a crash, especially common with fruits like mango, banana, grapes, or watermelon. Your body absorbs the sugar quickly, tries to bring it down fast, and the result is an energy roller coaster that leaves you drained. Another signal is digestive discomfort. If you find yourself bloated, gassy, or uncomfortable after eating certain fruits, especially apples, pears, or dried fruits, it may be due to a group of carbohydrates known as FODMAPs. These ferment in the gut and can be harder to digest as we get older, particularly for those with irritable bowel syndrome or sensitive stomachs. You may even feel discomfort hours after eating, making it hard to connect the dots. Excessive thirst, dry mouth, or frequent urination are also clues your body might be struggling with too much sugar, even from natural sources. This can be especially alarming in those with prediabetes or undiagnosed blood sugar issues, where high glucose levels begin to pull water from the body's cells, creating constant thirst. If you find yourself needing to drink more after eating fruit, that's a sign to monitor closely. Some seniors notice they feel hungrier after eating fruit rather than full. This happens because fruits digest quickly and lack protein or fat, so while they're sweet and satisfying at first, they don't stick with you. If a snack of grapes or pineapple leaves you craving more food just an hour later, your body is telling you that the sugar was absorbed too fast without anything to balance it. Even more serious signs can appear over time, such as tingling in the hands or feet, shakiness, or numbness. These can be symptoms of blood sugar instability or early nerve changes caused by poorly controlled glucose. If you've experienced this after fruit-heavy meals or smoothies, it's worth bringing up with your doctor. Another red flag? Trouble losing weight or unexpected weight gain, even when you're trying to eat light. Fruit is often low in calories by itself, but it's very easy to overeat, especially when it comes in the form of juice, smoothies, dried fruit, or fruit-packed granola bars. These forms of fruit often lack fiber and are loaded with sugar, causing insulin spikes and encouraging fat storage. For others, worsening joint pain or inflammation may be a subtle sign. While fruit has anti-inflammatory properties in small portions, too much sugar, even from fruit, can trigger inflammation, particularly in people with arthritis or autoimmune conditions. The most important thing to remember is this: your body speaks softly, gently, and patiently, but it always speaks. You just need to learn how to listen. If you find that fruit doesn't leave you feeling good, if you crash after eating it, or if you notice subtle changes in your digestion, energy, mood, or sleep, it's time to pay attention. Try tracking how you feel after different types of fruit. Keep a simple journal. Write down what you ate, how much, and how you felt afterward. After just a few days, patterns may appear that reveal more than you expect. That's exactly what Mr. Joseph did. He switched from banana smoothies to a small bowl of berries and yogurt. He replaced his dried apricots with a slice of green apple and a few almonds. The difference was profound. More energy, steadier blood sugar, fewer crashes, and most importantly, a sense of control over his health. In the next and final section, we'll tie everything together. We'll look back at what we've learned and show you how to make confident, informed choices when it comes to fruit, so you can enjoy it without fear and live each day with more energy, clarity, and peace of mind. Grapefruit. In moderation, grapefruit is great for heart health and digestion, but be cautious if you're taking medications, as it can interfere with certain prescriptions. The next tip is to watch your portions. Even healthy fruits can become problematic when eaten in excess. A serving of fruit is usually about 1/2 cup of chopped fruit or one small piece. It's easy to double or triple that without realizing, especially if you're eating fruit straight from a large bowl. Try pre-portioning your snacks in small containers or plating them instead of eating from the bag. It's also smart to combine fruits with other nutrients. When you eat fruit alone, especially first thing in the morning or on an empty stomach, the natural sugars absorb quickly, leading to a fast rise and fall in blood sugar. But when you pair fruit with protein or healthy fat, like Greek yogurt, a boiled egg, cottage cheese, or a handful of nuts, it helps slow digestion and keep your energy more stable. Here's a simple example. Instead of a banana by itself, try half a banana sliced into a bowl of unsweetened oatmeal with chia seeds. Or pair apple slices with almond butter. These small combinations can make a big difference in how your body feels after eating. Next, whenever possible, choose fresh or frozen fruits over canned or dried. Frozen fruits are often picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen to preserve nutrients. They're convenient, affordable, and easy to use in smoothies or cooked dishes. Just make sure there's no added sugar on the label. And finally, be mindful of how fruit fits into your whole diet. Fruit is just one piece of the puzzle. It's important to balance it with plenty of vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, and whole grains. If you have diabetes or are managing blood sugar, talk with your doctor or a dietitian about the right amount and type of fruit for your individual needs. Mrs. Ellen, once overwhelmed, now keeps a little handwritten list on her fridge. Berries in the morning, apple slices in the afternoon, pear with dinner, watermelon, just one slice with lunch, not a bowl before bed. It's not about cutting fruit out of your life. It's about choosing fruits that love you back, that give you steady energy, support your organs, and nourish your aging body without the crash. In the next section, we'll go over some of the warning signs your body might be giving you when fruit, or too much of the wrong kind, is causing more harm than good. These signs are easy to miss, but they could be your body's quiet way of asking you to slow down and make a smarter choice. Conclusion. So now we've come full circle. We began this journey by challenging a simple belief that all fruit is good for you all the time. And along the way, we discovered that while fruit can be one of the most healing gifts from nature, it can also, in certain forms and amounts, quietly harm your body, especially after the age of 60. We learned that raisins, though small, are packed with concentrated sugar that can spike blood glucose. We saw how lychee, despite its exotic sweetness, can unbalance your system and lead to dangerous sugar crashes. We talked about overripe mango, so sweet and tempting, but so risky when eaten in large amounts. We explored watermelon, refreshing and hydrating, but capable of delivering a fast sugar hit with little fiber to slow it down. And we examined dried and canned fruits, which often come loaded with hidden sugars and additives that wear down the body over time. But this wasn't a warning to fear fruit. It was a call to understand it more deeply, to build a relationship with food that's not based on habit or assumption, but on awareness and wisdom. Because as your body changes, your choices must change too. And that's not a loss, it's an opportunity to feel better, move better, think clearer, and live longer. You now know the signs, the tiredness after eating, the thirst, the crashes, the cravings, the bloating, the brain fog. These aren't just nuisances, they're signals. And when you know how to listen, you gain the power to choose differently. You gain the power to protect your energy, your balance, your clarity, and ultimately, your independence. The beauty of this stage in life is that you get to slow down, reflect, and choose what truly supports you. Choosing the right fruits and enjoying them the right way can be one of the simplest and most powerful changes you make for your health. You don't have to give up sweetness. You just have to find it where it supports you, not where it steals from you. Thank you for watching, and thank you for taking your health seriously. You deserve to feel strong, steady, and well-nourished. And with every small, mindful step, like the ones you took today, you're walking toward a brighter, healthier future. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and haven't yet liked and subscribed, now is the perfect time to do so. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who need this kind of helpful content. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll always know when a new video is up. Your support truly means the world to us. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.